Hello, good afternoon to all. So myself Yudhishthir and today we will going to discuss about animal kingdom due to some health issue. Ma'am not joined today. So we started with technical check. Please answer me. Is my voice clear or not? And screen visible or not? And then we will start today's session. Please answer fast, guys. YouTube people, they can answer in the chat box of YouTube. Is my voice clear and screen is visible? Please give me answer. Okay, so I think all things are clear. So today we will start the animal kingdom. In animal kingdom, we generally start with introductory part, and then we go toward the different phylums, a description of phylum. And then if we have a time, if we completed the question, then we discuss with some of question, because already lesson is too long, and that's why we need to revise first. So we start revision first and then we will discuss the question. Okay, so my first question to all of you, what is meant by animal? Can you give me answer in the chat box, guys? What is meant by animal? You can see the definition of animal here. So animal are the multicellular organism. You already know animals are the multicellular organism. Okay, and they are heterotrophic. That means they depend on the other organisms for the food. Okay, for example, we eat the food. Okay, or other animals also eat the food. Like a plant, we not autotrophic. Plants are the autotrophics. You already know about. We have a cell, and cells do not contain a cell wall. Plant cell contain a cell wall. Okay, and we do not contain the chlorophyll. Okay, so chlorophyll is important for the photosynthesis process. You already know about it. Okay, so this is the simple definition of animal. Okay, so going toward next part. So you can see these are the major phylum. You can see there have a 11th phylum here. First start with the Porifera, and here you can see the last phylum is the Chordata. Chordata contain a different of classes. We will discuss about the classes. Don't worry. So here you can see first phyla is the Porifera, next is a Cnidaria, next is a Ctenophora, next is a Platyhelminthus, fifth is a Ascalhelminthus, next is a Annelida, next one is the Arthropoda, and eighth number you can see the Mollusca, and on ninth number you can see Echinodermata, next one is the Hemichordata, and last one is the Chordata. Okay, so we need to remember the characteristic of all these phylum, which will ask in the examination. There have lot of chance to ask in the examination. So first we go with some basic classification system. Then what is meant by basic classification system? Okay, so whenever we saw any unknown organism, so we need to develop some strategy how we classify the organism. Okay, so for that classification we use some measures. Okay, for example, level of organization, we will discuss in detail about it, don't worry. Next is the body symmetry. Next one is the layers. Okay, so you already know we means humans are developed by from the 3 layers, embryonic layers. Okay, next one is the silo, means body cavity. Next one is the metamerism. Okay, metamerism means segmentation. Then what is meant by segmentation, we will discuss in detail. Next one is the notochord. So these 6 part are the basis of classification. On basis of this 6 part, we classify the organism. Okay, and we go through the one by one. First we start with the level of organization. Okay, so here you can see the different 4 level of organization. First level of organization is the cellular level of organization. Means some organism only on the cellular level, they have only cells, or most of function happen inside the cell, and that's why it known as the cellular level organization. Next one is the tissue level organization. That means functional tissues are there. Okay, that thing is known as the tissue level organization. Next one is the organ level organization. Here, with the help of most of tissues develop some organ, and that organ work or it perform the functions. That means it is the organ level organization. And next one is the organ system. For example, in our case, in human case, we have an organ system level organization, because different type of organ systems are contained by our body. Okay, and that work simultaneously, that work coordinately, and that's why we do the proper functions, or our body do the proper functions. Okay, so we go through in detail one by one. So start with the cellular level organization. Here you can see the example for the cellular level organization is the porifera. Okay, and cells are arranged as a loose cell aggregates. Okay, so this is the one of example. You need to remember example for the cellular level organization. Okay, and here you can see in case of cellular level organization, cells are arranged as a loose cell aggregates. Okay, that means here cell is the major part, or cell doing the work. Okay, or we can say intercellular work. Okay, for example, if digestion happen, then digestion happen inside the cell, like that. Okay, or respiration happen, then respiration happen by the cell only. Okay, that's why it's known as the cellular level organization. Next one is the tissue level organization. Okay, so in case of tissue level organization, here you can see cell are arranged into tissue, and that tissue work metabolically, or we can say that tissue work for that specific organism. Okay, and example are the cnidarians and ctenophores. Okay, so these are the example. You want to remember example, you can build your short notes, or we can say running notes for it. Okay, next one is the organ level organization. So here you can see when tissue are arranged and it develop into organ. For example, some higher animals. Okay, like that platyhelminthes organization. Next one is the organ system level organization. Means here organ are associates. For example, in case of digestive organ system or digestive system, you can see mouth, tongue, okay, esophagus, gut, all these things. Okay, so these different types of organ, and they meet together, combine, and they perform same type of function. That thing is known as the organ system level organization. Okay, so here you can see the organ are associated to the organ system, and each system perform physiological function. For example, respiratory system, digestive system, reproductive system, and so on. Okay, so higher animal contain the different organ systems. Okay, next one. So this is the one of basis of classification. Next is the here again see the level of organization. Okay, here again you can see the different examples. For here you can see the organ system of different animal. Okay, shows complexities. For example, digestive system, and there have two types of digestive system. One is the incomplete digestive system, and next one is the complete digestive system. Then what is the difference between complete and incomplete digestive system? So incomplete digestive system, only a single opening, and that single opening act as a mouth as well as anus. That means both functions are done by the only one opening. That thing is known as the incomplete type of digestive system. You want to remember all these things, because on this base we classify the organism. Next one is the complete digestive system, where you can see the two opening system separately, mouth and anus. That thing is known as the complete digestive system. Next one, you can see here the circulatory system. There have two types of circulatory system. I think you already learn in the animal physiology or human physiology in 11th standard. Okay, so first is the open system, next one is the closed system. Then what is the difference between open and closed system? You can send your message in the chat box, guys. Okay, be attentive in the class. Okay, so in the open system, what happened? in open system there have no blood vessels. Okay, so यहाँ पर blood vessels नहीं रहेंगी, ठीक है. And in case of closed system, you can see the blood vessels. Okay, so blood goes toward the organs in a controlled manner. That thing is known as the closed system. Okay. So here you can see the example for the incomplete digestive system in Hydra and Planaria. So this is the Hydra. Here you can see the single opening for the Hydra. Okay. And here you can see the complete example for the complete digestive system. For example, roundworm. Okay. Next one, after circulatory system, next one is the symmetry. Okay. So you already know what is meant by symmetry. Symmetry means same pattern, or we can say same plane. Okay, that thing is known as the, or same portion in our language, day-to-day language. Okay, so that thing is known as the symmetry. Okay, so here you can see the two diagrams. First is the asymmetric. That means this portion, this first portion is not the same to the second portion. Okay, that means is known as the asymmetric. Here you can see this is the your heart type of diagram. Okay, okay. And here you can see this is for this first portion is not equal to that portion, so that's why it is the asymmetry. Okay. I think this is the sponge, not a heart. Okay. Okay, so here you can see the beetle. Okay, and beetle have a bilateral symmetry. That means this portion is the same as the second portion. Okay, so there have a different types of symmetry. You can see here mostly two types. First is the asymmetric, next is the symmetrical. In case of asymmetrical, there have two parts are dissimilar. Okay, so here you can see body cannot be divided into two similar parts. Okay, for example, poriferas and snails. In case of symmetry, body part divided into two similar parts. On that basis, on the basis of symmetry, we have a different types. First is the radial symmetry, next is the bilateral symmetry. Then what is meant by radial symmetry? So here you can see body can divide it into two equal whole by any plane along the central axis of the body. Okay, so here you can see, for example, one plane we added like this, and next plane we added like this, and this body, this organism body completely same in all parts. Okay, and that's why it is known as the radial symmetry. Next one is the bilateral symmetry. In case of bilateral symmetry, only right and left part are the in a one plane and are the same. Okay, for example, human also bilateral contain a bilateral symmetry because apna left part and right part are the same. That's why. Okay, so here you can see the different types of example for the radial symmetry. First is the porifera, next is the cnidarians, next is the ctenophores, and next one is the kinetoderms. Echinoderms. Next one is the example for the bilateral is the platyhelminthes to chordata are the bilateral our organism contain the bilateral symmetry. Only echinodermates not have a bilateral symmetry. We will discuss later about it. Okay, sure. So again, there have a sum of information regarding the symmetry. So here you can see what is meant by dorsal, ventral, okay, and anterior, posterior. Okay, so here you can see this portion, this upper portion is known as, upper side is known as the dorsal part, lower side is known as the ventral part. Okay, like that, anterior is the we can say this mouth side part, and you can see the posterior, that is the tail side part. Okay, so you want to know about it, what is meant by ventral, what is meant by dorsal, like that. In case of humans, this portion, okay, where our eyes and all this face are situated is the ventral part. Okay, and this portion is the dorsal part. Okay, so this is the important things for the basis of classification. Okay, okay. Give me any response, guys. Are you understand or not all these things? Please send me message. Or give me any. You can use emojis. You can use reactions. Okay. चलो ठीक है चलो थैंक यू गाइस चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं इसी के साथ नेक्स्ट इज द जर्मिनल लेयर देन व्हाट इज मीन बाय जर्मिनल लेयर ओके so germinal layer nothing but whenever the embryonic stage come okay after zygote the embryonic stage come at that time there have development of different types of layer and that different types of layer in future develop different types of organ inside the body that thing is known as the germinal layer okay so there have most of two types of germinal layer one is and that animal known as the diploblastic animal which contain only two types of layer and next one are the triploblastic animal which contain the three types of layers okay so here you can see the different types of layer for example ectoderm endoderms means a layer which situated inside ecto means outer side okay and in between if we talk about the triploblastic animal there have a mesoderm okay that means a three layer first is the endoderm next is the mesoderm and last one is the ectoderm okay so mesoderm situated in the middle okay so here you can see the embryonic stage and how this layer develop from blastula to gastrula okay so here you can see the endoderm part that is internal layer next one is the mesoderm is the middle part and ectoderm is the outer part this is the cavity that cavity known as the blastocoel okay so this is the embryonic development Chalo. So we will discuss this germinal layer in detail so here you can see the diploblastic animal so they contain the ectoderm and endoderm only okay and in between this layer and undifferentiated jelly like layer called mesoglia okay that means in between ectoderm and endoderm there have a jelly like layer and that jelly like layer is known as the mesoglia please write this thing because these things are important question are comes from this part we will discuss Kuldeep okay we will discuss all the phylums okay after these basic things next one you can see the three germs layer and three germs layer are the ectoderm mesoderm and endoderm okay here you can see the example for the diploblastic animal are Nidaria and Ctenophora and here you can see the platyhelminthes and chordate in case of triploblastic animal okay next one is the coelom okay coelom is nothing but the body cavity so this body cavity lined by the mesoderm okay that means here you can see the mesoderm okay and here you can see the coelom part okay so after the mesoderm you can see the coelom part okay that's why here you can see the cavity lined by the mesoderm okay and it is seen between the body wall means this outer part is the body wall इसे हम कहेंगे body wall okay and this internal part is the gut wall okay so or muscles of gut or gut whatever okay so here you can see this is the gut wall in case of human this is the body wall in between you can see the cavity and this cavity is known as the coelom उसे हम कहते हैं coelom okay so coelom separate the muscles of gut and the body wall simple चीज है ठीक है clear है next one is the there have a three part acoelomate pseudocoelomate and coelomate so we go toward one by one next one is the acoelomate which not contain the coelom okay so here you can see the space between body wall and digestive cavity is filled with the matrix okay that means parenchyma here is the parenchymatic cell and that space between the body wall and digestive cavity filled with the parenchyma in this case coelom not present and that's why it is known as the acoelomate next is the pseudocoelomate in case of pseudocoelomate mesoderms are scattered in the pouch form. So here you can see this part is the mesoderm, okay, and this is not a completely we can say spreaded, okay, in the between body wall and the digestive part, okay. So here you can see the mesoderm scattered in pouch, and here body cavity is not aligned by the mesoderm, okay. That means आफ्टर मेसोडर्म कंप्लीटली यहाँ पर बॉडी कैविटी हमें नहीं दिखती है, ठीक है. So that's why it is known as the pseudo-coelomate. That means false coelom. But in case of coelomate, you can see this is the complete mesoderm, okay, and after that you can see the coelom here. You can see the coelom here, okay, and that's why we find the complete coelom here, and that's why it is known as the true coelom. इसी वजह से हम इसको वो कहेंगे ट्रू सीलोम. सो हियर सीलोम arises from the mesoderm. Coelom is aligned by the peritoneal layer. Then what is meant by peritoneal layer? Peritoneal layer is the layer which cover the visceral organ. Actually, visceral organ means, for example, digestive part, okay, our lungs. That's are the visceral organ that cover by the one of layer, and that layer is known as the peritoneal layer. And this peritoneal layer with filled with the coelomic fluid, and this coelomic fluid is important for the movement of that visceral organ, or it we can say decrease the friction whenever our organ work, okay. Next one is the example like annelids and chordates, okay. So we moving toward the next part. You can see the different example again here, like for the coelomate, okay, and you can see the Porifera, Platyhelminthes. Here you can see the Ascalhelminthes, and next one is the annelids and chordates, okay. Sure. Okay. So what is the function of coelom? So coelom accommodate visceral organ, okay. Next one, coelomic fluid reduce friction between visceral organ. We already discussed it, and it act as a shock absorber. Okay. So moving toward the next part. Next is the metamerism. Then what is meant by metamerism? You can see this is the earthworm, and earthworm contains some types of repeated segments. Okay, and this type of we can say structure is known as the metamerism. Okay, so here is the example is the annelids and arthropods. Okay. Next one is the notochord. Okay, so notochord is the supportive system for that specific organism. Here you can see mesodermally derived supported rod form on the dorsal side. So you can see this notochord present in the dorsal side during the embryonic development. Okay, so animal with notochord is known as the chordates. Okay, and without notochord is known as the non-chordate. Okay, so this is the complete, we can say, basis. And here you can see the phylum. For example, Porifera, level of organization is cellular, symmetry is the asymmetric or radial, coelom is the acoelomate. Likewise, Cnidaria, Ctenophora, level of organization is the tissue level, germs level layers are the diploblastic, symmetry is the radial, next is the coelom is the acoelomate. Next is the Platyhelminthes, the level of organization is the organ or organ system. Next one, germs layer are the triploblastic. Next one, symmetry is the bilateral, and coelom is the acoelomate. Okay? Likewise, Ascalhelminthes organ system is the level of organization, germs layer is the triploblastic, again symmetry is bilateral and pseudo-coelomate. Okay, for annelid, arthropod, mollusks, echinodermata, hemichordata and chordata, organ system, triploblastic, bilateral and coelomate. Okay, so these are the basis of the classification. Now we start and we study comparatively phylum to phylum. Okay, so here you can see the complete table, and here you can see the parameter. This parameter we will use for the classification of different types of phylum. Okay, so here you can see the Porifera. Okay, and next is the Nidaria. Okay, so these are the phylums. Okay, and this is the habit or habitat of phylum. For example, in case of Porifera, they are marine, some living in the fresh water. For example, spongilla live in the fresh water. So in case of Nidaria, they are mostly marine, some live in the fresh water. For example, Hydra, they are sessile or free swimming. Free swimming in the sense they freely move here and there. Sessile means they are fixed organism. Okay. In case of exoskeleton and endoskeleton, then what is meant by exoskeleton? Okay, exoskeleton is the cutaneous layer which present upper side of body. That thing is known as the exoskeleton. Endoskeleton means we have a exoskeleton. Okay, sorry, endoskeleton. Okay, human have a endoskeleton. We have a skeleton inside our body. Okay, so here you can see in case of Porifera, there have no we can say exoskeleton, but it have a endoskeleton. It contains spiculus or spongin fiber. Okay, then what is meant by spiculus or spongin fiber? So this is the types of we can say some cartilaginous, not completely cartilaginous, but it types of uh, skeleton. Okay, or we can say calcium containing part. Okay, which present inside the body. Next one is in case of Nidaria, there have no any uh, endoskeleton present. Okay, in case of Nidaria, if we talk about the exoskeleton, you can see it have a skeleton which made from the CSU3. Okay. And next one is the digestive system. In case of digestive system is absent, and here you can see the one word, that is the intracellular digestion. That means a cell digested the food for the Porifera. Okay, cell directly digested. Next thing about the Nidaria, you can see digestive system is incomplete. Mouth on a hypostome leading to body cavity, gastrovascular cavity. Next is the intra and extracellular digestion. Then what is meant by hypostome? Okay, so you can see this is the diagram of Hydra. Okay, and here you can see the hypostome here. Okay, so this portion is known as the hypostome. This is the mouth opening of the Hydra. Okay, so here what is it? Mouth on hypostome leading to body cavity, gastrovascular cavity. That means this hypostome, from this hypostome the gastrovascular cavity started. ठीक है, so digestion का type क्या रहेगा? Intra and extracellular. That means some things are digested inside the body. Okay, extracellular means जो outside body का digestion रहेगा. Next one is the respiratory structure. So they respire by the cell surface, they respire by the body wall. Okay, next one is the circulatory system. They circulate water again in the Nidaria. Next one is the excretory system. So they excrete material throughout the body. Okay, throughout the body surface. Again, same things in the Nidaria. Next one is the nervous system. Nervous system not present in the Porifera. Nervous system or neurons are appear, not a nervous system completely, but neurons are appear in case of Nidaria. Next one is the asexual reproduction. So asexual reproduction happen by the fragmentation, glandular formation in case of Porifera. In case of Nidaria, only budding happen in the asexual reproduction. Okay. Next one is the sexual reproduction. So here you can see the sexual reproduction present in case of Porifera, and they are the hermaphrodites. Then what is meant by hermaphrodites? There have two sex organs are present. First is the female and male in both organism. In a one organism. So this both reproductive organ are present in a one organism, that known as the hermaphrodites. Here you can see sexual reproduction are present. Next one, fertilization is the internal, fertilization is the external. I think you know about the internal external fertilization. Okay? So In case of human, fertilization is the internal. In case of we can say frogs, fertilization is the external, like that. Okay. Next is the development. Then you can see the indirect development here. You can see the direct development, indirect and direct development. Then what is the difference between indirect and direct development? In case of indirect development, organism first develop in the larva and then go toward the adult stage. Okay. It also known as the metamorphism. उसको हम metamorphism भी कहते हैं. In case of direct development, organism like develop same as an adult stage in the juvenile stage. Okay. For example, there are no changes in the body. ठीक है, उसके अंदर चेंजेस नहीं होगा. फॉर एग्जांपल ह्यूमन जैसा पैदा होता है, ठीक है, व्हेन दे बर्थ सेम टाइप का बॉडी स्ट्रक्चर रहेगा इन द एडल्ट स्टेज. बट इन केस ऑफ इनडायरेक्ट, फर्स्ट इज द लार्वल स्टेज कम एंड देन एडल्ट स्टेज कम, like that. Okay, so that type of development known as the indirect development. So this is the development in both phylum. Next one is the unique feature and example. For example, water canal are present in the porifera. The function of water canal is the food gathering, respiratory exchange, removal of waste. Okay. Next one is the ostia and osculum. So here you can see the difference between ostia and osculum. Okay. So there have many number of ostia. Okay. And osculum is the only one. Okay. Next one is the location. It present on the body surface. Okay. And here in case of osculum, the surface is also present on the body surface. Next one is the size. So size is a very minute in case of ostia. Next one is the large size. Okay. And water flow. That means water enter with the help of ostia and exit with the help of osculum. So this is the difference between osculum and ostia. Okay. Sure. So next are the collar cell lying to the sponge coil. Okay. So collar cells means cells present, for example, this type of sponge. Okay. Okay. And in this part, collar cells are present. Okay. And here you can see the sponge coils. Sponge coils means this type of cavity. Okay. Chalo. Examples are, you can see the spongilla, cycons are the examples here. Next one about the unique feature and example. So name derived from the nidoblast, okay, or nidocytes, and that nidocyte contain the nematocytes. Okay. And these nematocytes present on the body and tentacles of this organism. The functions of that nematocytes are anchorage. Okay. That means they fix with the help of nematocytes, defense, and capture to the prey. Okay. So these are the functions. So here you can see the example like Hycelia. Okay. Next is the Penatula. Okay. Means a sea pen. Next, the Gorgonia means sea fan. Next is a Mandrina means brain corals. Okay. So this is all about the porifera, and next one is a Nidaria. Okay. So then we start with discussing the Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, and Aschelminthes. Okay. If you have any issue, you can send me in the chat box. If it clear, if it understood by you, then you can send a response in the chat box, or you can use the different types of reaction signs. Okay. Okay, chalo. So we will moving forward. And here you can see the different phylum again, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, and Aschelminthes. Then sea walnut is the common name for Ctenophora. Next one is the flatworm for the Platyhelminthes, and Aschelminthes is the roundworm. So here you can see the habit or habitat. They are exclusively marine organism. Platyhelminthes means flatworm are the free living or parasitic. Okay, that means they need host. Okay. Next one is the roundworm are the aquatic, terrestrial, parasitic in plant as well as animal. Exoskeleton not present. Again, for the flatworm, exoskeleton not present in the roundworm. Endoskeleton also not present, not present here. Digestive system is the extracellular and intracellular. Both digestive systems are present here. Okay. Next is the digestive system incomplete with the single opening. Here again only one opening for the digestive system. That's why it known as the incomplete digestive system. Extracellular digestion also happen here. Okay, then what is meant by extracellular digestion? For example, if any predator or parasite, not predator, parasite use host system, okay, for the nutrient, that thing is known as the intracellular digestion. उसे हम कहेंगे intracellular digestion because they use a direct nutrient from that specific organism. Okay, here you can see some forms absorb food directly from the body surface. Okay, so we already discussed about it. Next one is here you can see the complete alimentary canal present with the muscular pharynx in case of roundworm. Here you can see the extracellular digestion. Okay. Next one is the respiratory respiration happen by the body worm. Here you can see free living body surface. Okay, so respiration happen by the body surface. Next one again respiration happen by the body surface. Circulatory system not present, not present, not present. Okay. Next one is the excretory system. So excretion happen by the body surface. Here they use a flame cell. I think you already discussed about the flame cell in the animal physiology. Okay. For excretion and osmoregulation, here you can see the tube opens out through the excretory pores in case of roundworm. Okay. Nervous system is present, here also present, here also present. Next with asexual reproduction not happen here. Next with asexual reproduction happen in case of planaria. Okay, so planaria, you know, it is the example of regeneration. Next one, asexual reproduction not happen in the roundworm. Okay, so here you can see sexual reproduction happen. Again here sexual reproduction happen, and they are the hermaphrodites. In case of this flatworm, okay, in case of Notochora, they also hermaphrodites. Here you can see dioecious. Then what is meant by dioecious? Means sexes are separate on separate body, like male and female are present here. Okay, male and female वहां पर हमें देखने को मिलेंगे. Next one is the fertilization is the external in case of Ctenophora. Next one in case of flatworm is the internal. In case of roundworm is the internal. Okay. Next one, development. Development is the indirect. Here, indirect development, that means first come larval stage and then adult stage. Okay, here you can see indirect through many larva stages. Next is direct and indirect. That means they develop young ones directly or larva and then adult stage, like that. Here you can see the example. Okay, so example, in case of example, you can see the unique character also. Okay, for example, 8 external row of combs plate for locomotion present on the comb jellies. Okay, here you can see the comb jelly. Okay, next is bioluminescence also happen here. Bioluminescence means a phenomena of organism who emit the lights. Okay, that thing is known as the bioluminescence. Example is a netoplana. Here you can see the dorsoventrally flattened body, and that's why it's known as the flatworm. Here you can see the flatworm. Okay, hooks and suckers are present for the sucking nutrient material from the host body. Okay, in the parasitic form, most of first one with the bilateral symmetry. You can see the bilateral symmetry here. Organ level of organization and triploblastic. That means they made by the three different layers. Example are the tinea, means a tapeworm, and live flug, means Foschiola. Okay. Next one is the roundworm. Here you can see first one with the organ system level of organization. Here you can see the organ system in this organism. Okay, they have a circular, and that's why it known as the roundworm. Next one is the female, is the longer than male. That means sexual dimorphism also you can see here. Okay, means female is in a different structure, male is in a different structure. Next one is the posterior end curve in a male. For example, Usheria and ancylostoma. Okay, ancylostoma means hookworm, Usheria means filaria worms. Okay, are all the parasitic worms here. Okay, ये सभी के सभी parasitic worm है, and it is the pathogenic to human. Okay, so this is all about the Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, and Aschelminthes. Okay. Next, we move toward the next part, that is the annelids and arthropods. So here you can see the habitat. In case of annelid, habitat is the aquatic or terrestrial. Again, for the arthropods, same thing, aquatic and terrestrial. Body divisions and appearance in the annelid, you can see distinct segment metamers. Okay. In case of arthropod, there have a different part, for example, head, thorax, and abdomen. Okay. Next one, locomotory structure is the circulatory muscles here, parapodia, and appendages. Appendages means foot-like structure. Okay. Here you can see the joint appendages. That means here you can see the thorax and abdomen part, and for to this thorax and abdomen part, these appendages get joined. Okay. Next one is the exoskeleton, not present in the annelids. Okay, and here exoskeleton present, and the material is the chitinous or cuticle. Okay, we I think already discussed about it when we start the lesson. Next one, digestive system is a present in the annelid. Digestive present also system also present in the arthropod. Respiratory system or respiration happen by the body surface. Here respiration happen by the gills, book gills, tracheal system, book lungs. I think we already discussed this thing in the respiratory system. Okay, or we can say breathing and respiration lesson. Okay, what is meant by gills, what is meant by book gills. Okay, like that. Next one is the circulatory system is the clothes. In case of annelid, in case of arthropod, it's open. Okay. Next one, excretory system is a nephridia. In case of arthropod, it is done by the Malpighian tubules. Nervous system. So here you can see the pair of ganglia. Ganglia means group of nerves with a double ventral nerve cord. Okay, then what is meant by double ventral? On ventral side, for example, we have only one nerve cord. Okay, so that thing is known as the spinal cord. Likewise, ventral nerve cord means, for example, this is the organism. Okay, and this is the first nerve cord, and this is the second nerve cord, like that. And this nerve cord present in the ventral side. Okay, so that's why it is known as the ventral nerve cord. Next is the paired ganglia with a double ventral nerve cord. Okay. Chalo. Next, sense organ are the eyes and tentacle. That means they sense surrounding with the help of eyes and tentacles. In case of arthropod, eyes are the simple compound. Next one is the antennas. They have antennas, statocyst. Okay, so this statocyst used for the balancing to the body. Okay. Next one, they have monoecious. In case of monoecious, you can see the example earthworm and leech. Monoecious means both sex organ present in one organism. That thing is known as the monoecious. Dioecious means there have a male and female differentiation. Nereus means that organism is the dioecious. Most of arthropods are the dioecious. Next one is the development. Again, this is direct and indirect development. In case of indirect, you already know larva and adult stage. In case of direct, they give direct birth to the organism or their child. Okay, and they have no larva stage. Okay, that thing is known as the direct. Next one is the unique feature. So first one with the metameric segmentation. Metameric segmentation means you can see this organism, and this organism have this type of metamer, and this known as the metameric segmentation. And they have a true coelom. Okay, example are the Ferretima, that means earthworm. Here you can see the example economically important insects. For example, apis means honeybee, bombyx means silkworm, and locifer means lac insect. Please remember this example. Please write down this example because they ask. Next one, some are vectors are comes in the arthropods. For example, Anopheles, Culex, and Aedes, which are the mosquitoes. Okay, vector means they we can say spread the disease. That's why they are the vectors, or they spread some pathogenic molecules or organism. That's why they are the vectors. Some are the living fossils. That means limulus means king crab. Okay, some are the pests. For example, locusta. Okay, so this is all about the annelids and arthropods. Then we move toward the next part, that is the mollusca, echinodermata, and hemidermata. So mollusca is the second largest phylum. Arthropod is the largest phylum. Please remember this thing also. Actually, we missed this thing. So, yes, mollusca. So here you can see the habitat of mollusca. They are aquatic, terrestrial. Echinodermata are the marines. Hemidermata also marines. So body divided into head, muscular feet, and visceral hump. Then what is meant by muscular feet? For example, we have a muscular feet. That means our foot develop with muscles. Okay, that thing is known as the muscular feet. Okay, then what is meant by visceral hump? Visceral hump means I think you observe the snail. For example, this is the snail. Okay, this is the snail, and snail have some type of this type of shell. Okay, this type of shell. Okay, and this shell contain digestive system of that specific organism. Okay, and that's why is known as the visceral hump. इसे हम कहते हैं visceral hump. Okay, in case of echinodermata, the body is the star-like. In case of hemichordata, they have a proboscis collar trunk, मतलब worm-like. Okay, so locomotory structure is the muscular feet. Okay, they have a water vascular system. I think you already know starfish contain the water vascular system. Okay, they use water pressure to move here and there. That thing is known as the water vascular system. In case of hemichordata, they do not contain any locomotory structure. Next is the exoskeleton. So exoskeleton developed by calcareous shell. Okay, and here you can see they have a spine. In case of echinodermata, okay, spines means some throne-like structure. Okay, and here in case of hemichordata, they do not have any exoskeleton. Digestive system, mouth with file-like rasping organ, radula for the feeding. You can see in this diagram. Okay, this is the radula, this is the mouth, and this is the file-like system. Okay, so this is the different part of the mouth. Here you can see in the echinodermata, mouth is in the lower side. Okay, so mouth present here in the lower side, anus present in the upper side in case of echinodermata. Okay, so anus present in the dorsal side, you can see here. Hemichordata, digestive system is present. In case of mollusca, respiratory system contain gills. Okay, and in echinodermata, the respiration happen by the water vascular system. Okay, and hemichordata contain the gill slit. Okay, circulatory system open in all organism. Excretory system contain a gills in case of mollusks. Echinodermata do not contain excretory system, and here you can see proboscis gland contain hemichordate. Here one of catch, that is, you see the echinodermata do not contain the excretory system. That means they do not excrete the things. Yes, they excrete the thing, but they do not have a proper system for that. Okay, so here you can see the no means they do not contain the proper system. Okay, for example, you can see the locomotor structure, or you can see the digestive system like that. So they do not contain the proper system for it. Okay, but work done by the another part of things or body. Okay, so that is the meaning of it. All contain the nervous system. Okay, so sense organ in case of mollusca are the tentacles. Sense organ are present in the echinoderm. So in case of echinoderm, there have a we can say one of a tube. Okay, that known as the tube of pit. Okay, and that tube of pit sense the light. They respire by that tube of pit. Okay, and they locomote with the help of that tube of pit. Okay, so that tube of pit work as a sense organ also. That's why here you can see in case of echinodermata, sense organ is a present. Okay, next one is the hemichordata, sense organs are the present. Monoecious, dioecious, usually dioecious organism, that means male, female are present separately. Okay, here again dioecious. Next one, development is indirect. Okay, here you can see the development are the indirect with free swimming larva. Development is the indirect. So here you can see the unique feature. Okay, so we go toward the next part directly, examples. Okay, because we don't have a time, only we have 5 minutes, and we need to complete again next part. Okay, so here you can see the cuttlefish sepia, loligo means cod, pincata, okay, asphysia. Okay, so this is the sum of example. Next one is the cucummaria, means sea cucumber, echinus means sea urchin, antedon sea lily. So these are the example. Here you can see balanoglossus, sacaglossus. Okay, so these are the example for the hemichordata. Next one is the chordata. Chordata are the trypoblastic organism. That means they have a 3 layers. Okay. Next, they are bilaterally symmetrical. They have a coeloms. Okay. Organ system level organization, closed circulatory system. So this is the common diagram. Okay, for the chordata. We move toward the next part. Here again, there have a subphyla in a chordate. First is the urochordata, cephalochordata, and vertebrata. Okay, so vertebrata contain the vertebrate completely. Okay, so here you can see the habitat or where they live. Okay, so you can see ice caps, desert, mountain, forest, grassland, etc. Urochordata and cephalochordata are the completely marine organism. Okay, notochord present only in a larval tail. Okay, in case of urochordata. In case of cephalochordata, extend from the head, tail, and persist throughout their life. Notochord. In case of vertebrata, present in the embryonic stage, and it replaced by the cartilaginous bony vertebral column. That means notochord change in case of vertebrata from notochord to we can say vertebral column when they develop in the adult. Okay. Next one, you can see the vertebrates also divided in the two division. First is a agnatha, next is a gnathostomata. Okay, so here jaws is absent in case of agnatha. In a gnathostomata, it present. Here the fins are unpaired. Here fins are paired. Sexes not separated in the agnatha. Here sexes are separate. Again, here you can see class is the cyclostomata. And here the two main classes like Pisces, okay, which contain the fins, and tetrapoda. Tetrapoda means which contain limbs, okay, hind limb, forelimb, like that. Okay, so here you can see the classes again: amphibia, reptilia, aves, and mammalia. Okay. Okay, so this last part we will discuss in the next session, and we will start human health and disease in the next session also. Okay. So for today we stop here. If you have any issue, any doubt, you can ask in 5 minutes. Okay. And thank you for joining. Goodbye to all.